Welcome to the Talkin Tuskens podcast, episode 2
of
the Talkin Tuskens podcast. My name is Zach Weiss.
My name is Michael Miyahira.
In case you don't know what we're all about, we're we go over Star Wars news, then we talk about a certain Star Wars subject, and this week, actually, Michael, we have a giveaway. Last week, we were doing a 1-month subscription to Star Wars The Old Republic, and this week, we are doing a 2,400 cartel coin. Actually, this is for real this time. Not like last time where I lied and said that this was a subscription.
Now you cheated everybody out of their hard-earned points.
Stick around and you can win that for yourself. All right, we have a lot of news to cover. So, actually, Michael, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
How are you over the week? What you been up to?
Oh, I've been sick.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just got a kind of cold, so I've been getting better. So if I sound a little groggy, don't worry, I'm fine.
You play any Star Wars games or any Star Wars books or anything?
Nope. But I have started watching Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the TV series. But we'll go over that later. Yeah. How about you?
Well, I just caught up with Star Wars Rebels because I was a couple episodes behind and kind of picking up a little bit. For a while, it was really kind of dragging behind, and there's a lot of filler episodes, so I'm hoping it picks up again soon.
And if I'm right, Star Wars Rebels takes place after the Clone Wars, between episode 3 and 4, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Did
I say Clone Wars? I meant Rebels.
What?
Nothing? Never mind.
Okay. And I also have been playing a little bit of Knights of the Eternal Throne, the Star Wars The Old Republic expansion. So,
cool. How's that?
That's been okay. I haven't gotten very far in it, but from what I've played so far, it's pretty cool. I'll have more thoughts on that next week, I bet. I've had early access for like a month now or something. 2 weeks maybe. I don't know. And I'm finally getting around to it, so we'll see how that goes. All right. We have a lot of news to cover, so let's get into that.
Let's do it.
All right. First story. So this comes from StarWars.com. You can watch the Rogue One, a Star Wars story, red carpet live at StarWars.com. They had a similar thing for Force Awakens on December 10th. I'm very excited for this because at the last red carpet live stream, George Lucas showed up and he said, "I'll squash you like a bug."
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
To the Jurassic World producer, so hopefully there's something like that this year.
Oh, wow. We can only hope.
Yeah, so that was announced live at the Star Wars show, on the Star Wars show, rather, on YouTube. All right, next story. This comes from comicbook.com. George Lucas poked fun at himself when he visited Rogue One, a Star Wars story set. During the press tour for Rogue One, a Star Wars story, Gareth Edwards visited a French talk show where he delivered a lengthy interview about the film. The director talked extensively about the movie's production, from when he first learned about the possibility of the film through to post-production. In between, when he was on set of the film, Star Wars creator George Lucas visited to see what the team was creating. With this movie being so close to Lucas's original creation, now known as Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, the opportunity to show off for him was too good to pass up for Edwards. He said, quote, "Don't screw it up," Edwards first joked with a smile when talking about Lucas visiting and any potential advice. Quote, "I think there are 2 things that are incredibly surreal that you can do in your life. Number 2 is having to show George Lucas your Star Wars movie. Like, that was really crazy. And I think number 1 is to be George Lucas and have someone show you a Star Wars movie. So I felt for him, and he was incredibly gracious," end quote. The director revealed that George Lucas made a self-deprecating joke while on set as well. He joked a lot about how we should do more in the computer and not build so much, end quote, Edwards revealed. That's, of course, pointing at the heavy criticism Lucas received for the high level of CGI in the prequel trilogy, episode 1 through 3. Quote, "We didn't take his advice. We tried to shoot as much in camera as possible," end quote. So what do you think of that?
I wonder if he's just trying to make George Lucas look good, and he actually went on set and went, you really need more CGI.
You know what? Gareth, you should actually put a little bit more CGI in here. How about
Yeah, good one, Mr. Lucas.
how about a Gungan? Do you want to put a Gungan in there?
All right, someone get him off set.
Put the Gungus in there. Yeah, I love George, so I'm not trying to make fun of him too much.
Oh, no. Well,
Yeah.
I love Star Wars.
Yeah. So.
No, I think it's been a part of everybody's childhood at some point, so you can't really hate him terribly.
So our next story comes from timeout.com. Who are Rey's parents? The answer is in The Force Awakens, reckons Star Wars star Daisy Ridley. Did we miss something in The Force Awakens? This morning, Timeout caught up with Star Wars actress and proud Londoner, Daisy Ridley. I don't know.
No, I like that, Londoner.
I've never heard Londoner before.
Oh, man, I think Londoner is like much greater of a title.
Greater of a title? Yeah. I don't know. Have you ever heard the term Londoner before?
Not much.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. That's weird to me. Okay, Daisy Ridley to discuss her work as a narrator on superb upcoming documentary The Eagle Huntress, but we couldn't help slipping in a Star Wars question at the end. Ridley has already revealed that in the as yet untitled episode 8, due in 2017, we'll learn a lot more about her character, Rey's mysterious backstory. Oh, sorry. We'll learn a lot more about her character Rey's mysterious backstory. We asked if it'd feel good to get the secret off her chest, and her answer startled us. Quote, "I thought a lot was answered in The Force Awakens," she said. "Then after the screening, I went for a drink with my agent and everyone, and we were chatting away, and I realized that, in their minds, it's not answered at all." So they sort of go into that she actually thinks that her parents' backstory her backstory about her parents was revealed in Force Awakens. So
I wonder if
we talked about this last week.
Yeah, I wonder if she just means like it's less of answering who they are as much as it's answering that she has parents. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe she was told who the parents are in the course of the next two movies, or maybe it was obvious.
Yeah.
I can't tell from the movie who her parents are, though.
What I read from this, and I might be totally wrong, but what it sounds like to me is that she is sort of hinting at that Rey doesn't really have parents. Kind of. But I don't know. She also said, quote, I do find it quite funny that people keep asking about it. Just yesterday, a guy asked to take a picture with me and went, "Is Luke your dad?" And I was like, "Chill out, you'll see." End quote. So, I don't know. It's a mystery to everybody.
Now, do you think there's been a lot of footage that was cut before the actual release of Episode 7?
I think there's a fair bit of footage cut. There was a couple scenes in the...
No, wait, it's already
on Blu-ray or whatever.
Yeah. Sorry, that's not really much of a mystery, is it? I guess they would have shown it, ideally.
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
Maybe they left stuff out.
Next story. This comes from Collider. Oh, jeez, what is this? I don't want to sign up for the newsletter. Sorry, Collider. All right. So, this is just... Collider was talking about the reviews for Rogue One, and it seemed mostly positive, so...
Good.
I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. We're not going to read all the reviews.
No, let's read all the reviews.
Yeah, no, we're okay on that. All right. This second story also comes from Collider. So, Gareth Edwards, this is actually another thing about George Lucas. He actually had a reaction to Rogue One, a Star Wars story, because he saw it early, and apparently he liked it a lot. Quote, "So 2 days ago, we got to show George the movie, and we all had a phone call, and I got to speak with him yesterday. I don't want to put words into his mouth, but I can honestly say that I can die happy now. He really liked the movie, so it meant a lot. To be honest, and no offense to anyone here, it was the most important review to me." So, George Lucas himself liked the film, Michael. It's good signs. Good signs. Good signs for the movie. Next story. GameSpot. EA exec teases much bigger Star Wars Battlefront sequel, says no new Battlefield soon. Speaking today at an investors briefing in Europe, EA CFO Blake Jorgensen discussed a number of interesting topics, including the future of the Battlefield and Battlefront franchises. Starting with Battlefield, Jorgensen confirmed that there won't be another game in the series anytime soon. Quote, we won't have another Battlefield for a couple of years, end quote, he said during a NASDAQ speaking event, suggesting the next one might not come until 2018 or later. Quote, we're looking at all of our games and asking, how might we provide additional opportunities for the player to engage? The players want to engage deeply in the game, the executive said. Let's move down to the Battlefront. The first Battlefront, which shipped 14 million copies to become one of the best-selling Star Wars games in history, focused on characters and locations from the original trilogy: Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Leia, Darth Vader, etc. The sequel, however, will leverage the new movies, Jorgensen said, which should give the game an opportunity to reach a wider audience. Overall, Jorgensen described Battlefront 2 as a much bigger, much more exciting Battlefront.
So they're calling the new Battlefront 2.
Which is weird, right? There's already a Battlefront 2, so
I remember the original Battlefront 2 being much bigger, much more exciting than the original Battlefront.
Yeah. So, who knows?
I don't know.
That was pretty... We were in sync there for a second.
Yeah, except
you choked. You're dying.
Joking.
So, yeah, Rogue One Scarif. That's the next expansion for the Battlefront. The original... Cool. I was about to say the original Battlefront, but that's not true at all. So, the DLC comes out in December before the film arrives. Next story comes from Variety. We're not going to read the whole article because it's not really about Star Wars, but they report that he is expected to film, or he begins recording episode 8 in December, and expects to record off and on through March or April 2017. John Williams. Sorry, I don't know if I clarified that. But yeah, so that's pretty exciting news. John Williams. Hopefully he lives.
Jesus.
He's an old guy. He's like 80. I don't know.
No, actually, yeah, that did enter my mind. I mean, I'm sure he hasn't lost his edge, but...
No, I think... I love his score from Force Awakens. I think Rey's theme is awesome, but Kylo's theme is really cool, too. Yeah. But yeah, he's getting old. He's getting up there. I know what
you're saying. I've heard the same thing being said about... who's the Japanese animator I just talked about? Hayao Miyazaki. Someone even brought up, like, what if he dies during the making of a new movie, because he is, like, I think 75 or older.
Yeah, where's his Star Wars movie?
Yeah, I'd like to see a Star Wars movie by Hayao Miyazaki.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
The Force Rises.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. The Wampa Rises. All right, next story. Gareth Edwards interview. This is from the Star Wars show. You should go check this out. Gareth Edwards says a lot of cool stuff. Apparently, so he says that Godzilla actually makes a little bit of a cameo in Rogue One. So
you don't say.
Which is really weird, but yeah, he's apparently in a cave or something. So there's a lot of cameos. There's a lot of cameos to be found in Rogue One. But that's actually something I wanted to bring up really quick. So the story we're not covering today are the 30 different clips that they've released.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Yeah. There was a big spoiler, and I'm not gonna cover this. There's a big spoiler in like number 26 of their TV spot.
I haven't seen that one. I'll check it out.
There's a big cameo spoiler, and man, they just gotta cool it with all the clips.
I think people are definitely excited enough.
Yeah.
Right now, wouldn't you say?
But it's like they're like releasing the movie in increments now. It's just like every week, it's like, well, I've seen another 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, that's what they should do. Just have like a 5-minute increment just TV spot, and then, have someone bootleg it after a month or two, and there's your free movie.
Yeah, edit all the TV spots together, and then you'll get the movie before
I'd watch
it releases
that
in theaters. I don't know how much footage they've actually shown. There was a clip. So, reason I brought that up because in TV spot number 26, there's like a big spoiler, and I was like, why are they showing this early? This would have been something awesome to see in the theater. So you can check that out if you want. I'm gonna give you a warning though; it's a big spoiler, so be cautious. All right, next two stories sort of tie in together, and they're our last two stories of the day. This comes from Disney Parks blog, where they were celebrating Rogue One, a Star Wars story, by turning Spaceship Earth, or the giant Epcot ball, into a Death Star.
This is really cool.
We're going to watch this. So, Michael, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
On the orders of Lord Vader, you are the first to witness the power of our latest innovation.
God.
The power we are dealing with here is immeasurable. Now, we reveal our new, armed, and fully operational battle station, the Death Star!
This actually happened.
Yeah, this is...
Oh my God.
So
That's amazing.
yeah, I thought it was pretty cool too. So it's not really news or anything, but I just wanted to share
cool.
it. I think it's awesome. So this next article ties into that. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, inspires additions to Disney's Hollywood Studios offerings. This is by Jennifer Fickley Baker. Just moments ago at our Disney Parks blog Star Wars Celebration, speakers from entertainment and merchandise highlighted several new Star Wars-inspired additions that have recently or will soon make their way to Disney's Hollywood Studios. First, AWR troopers from the film Rogue One, a Star Wars story, will debut at Disney's Hollywood Studios very soon. AWR Advanced Weapons Research troopers are encased in specialized stormtrooper armor with a dark, ominous gleam. They are the bodyguards and enforcers of Director Krennic, who holds a high status in the AWR division of the Empire. Guests will soon have a chance to spot these AWR troopers in a new scene in the existing Star Wars A Galaxy Far, Far Away daytime show at Disney's Hollywood Studios. The park's Star Wars launch bay will soon be updated with new props from Rogue One, a Star Wars story, including items such as a Shore Trooper blaster, Director Krennic's Imperial shuttle, a Death Star model, a U-Wing gunship, and more. Making of footage will also be added to the behind-the-scenes film in Launch Bay Theater. Similar updates can also be found at Star Wars Launch Bay in Disney Park in California. Disneyland Park. So, what do you think of that? Excited for that?
I'm excited.
So, the Star Wars A Galactic Spectacular is also returning. I got the chance to see this, actually.
Did
you? It was
you?
really awesome. So, I'm hoping I can see it again soon. But I will say, the launch bay at Disneyland and Disney World, I don't know. It was kind of lame the last time I was there, to be honest. It just had a bunch of props. So if you're into that, it's cool. But it's kind of like a big store. So anyways, that's all the news. All right. So we don't have any mail this week. But again, like last week, you can email us at talkintuskens@gmail.com. And we will answer your questions and comments on the show. All right, so that does it for the news and the mail. Let's do another segment. This is a fun segment, Michael.
This is Michael's Clone Wars Corner.
What'd you watch this week, Michael?
Oh, I watched the first episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the TV series.
Yeah.
Or just Star Wars Clone Wars.
Do you remember what it was called?
No.
All right.
But
this is Michael's Clone Wars Corner.
We recording. Hello, YouTube.
So, Michael, you just watched episode 1, season 1 of the Clone Wars. Ambush. What'd you think?
I actually really liked it. Compared to which may be shocking, given my last review of the movie, but I thought this episode, the first episode, was actually very well thought out. I'll give you a quick overview of the episode. So basically, it's the beginning of the Clone Wars. There's a planet, or there's a moon, and with a local population on it, and it's a battle of convincing the leadership of who they should align with, the Separatists or the Republic. And so the Separatists send tons and tons of droids, and what's her name? Asajj Ventress is her name? Yeah. So Ventress is sent down to convince the leadership to join the Separatists, and Master Yoda is sent there with 3 clone troopers originally. The Separatists were not supposed to be there. And so therefore, it's basically 3 clone troopers and Yoda versus 1,000 or maybe more droids.
You should mention though really quick, Michael, that it was Watto's species that Yoda was trying to influence. Hey, Yoda! We're trying to get Yoda! Oh, Yoda! We don't know if we would like to be bargained with. Oh, hello, Yoda! Thoughts?
Yeah, they're pretty well put together for a bunch of really racist caricatures of Mexican people. Yeah, so in the episode, like I said, it was set on a planet where Yoda is pitted with 3 stormtroopers. Clone troopers against 1,000 droids, and one of the themes being, they're making a big emphasis on, we're being outgunned by all of these droids, and Yoda tries to keep pressing onto them. Don't limit yourself with your weapons. It's really on how you use them, or really looking to what else you can use. If it seems like I'm ecstatic about this, it's because compared to the Clone Wars movie, I thought this was much more well written, and that the characters seemed a little more true to both the situation and the environment that they were in, as well as to some of the original characters like Yoda, for example. But so compared to the movie that I saw before this, I liked the episode a hell of a lot more than the movie.
Wait, I'm going to do that again. What did you like about the episode?
There were a lot of things I liked. One of them was the moon, the planet that everything was set on. I thought the artistic style was really interesting. I don't mean to sound like a pretentious art student. I just, for some reason, found it really interesting. Took note of the animation style of the planet, the environment that they created. Things seemed more fluid in the episode, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? It just did.
What did you dislike about the episode?
I don't know why, but I just don't like the droid comic relief where one battle droid goes, "What are you doing?" and the other one goes, "I'm trying to kill a Jedi," and the other goes, "That's not how you do it." Yeah, it seems a little like, it's like Jar Jar Binks was stuffed into a droid, and then they just said, "Have at it," for like 2 seconds. Other than that, I don't think there was much I disliked about this episode.
Do you think you liked this episode because Ahsoka was not in it?
Yes. I don't know. I mean, it's a good point. She wasn't in this. Out of 5 stars, I'd give this probably 3.5 or 4. I liked it.
So that was Michael's Clone Wars Corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of this one?
I really, I actually liked the episode.
Yeah, that's the first.
I honestly did, yeah.
That's surprising.
I know my last review was, horrible.
No, I think it was good. I actually thought it was a pretty good review.
Well, maybe the review is good, but I hated the movie.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Yeah. So our topic this week is potential Star Wars video games.
Yes. What do you have? Some ideas for video games,
All right.
Star Wars related?
So I want to give a little bit of backstory first. I don't know if you can see up on the shelf, but we have pretty much every Star Wars game that you can imagine. I've played a lot of Star Wars games. Let me just set the record straight. All right, I've played a lot of Star Wars games.
Any of you don't think this guy here sitting next to me doesn't play every Star Wars game, you've got another thing coming.
My favorite Star Wars game is Knights of the Old Republic, because you can, with mods, you can even play a Tusken Raider. It's pretty cool.
Ho!
You should play that one, Michael.
I should.
I think you'd really.
I've heard a
like
lot of
that.
good things about it.
Yeah. So my first Star Wars game, potential Star Wars game, EA, they are in charge of making Star Wars games now. So I have a couple of suggestions. These don't necessarily have to be EA games. Like, who knows what will happen in the future with Star Wars games. But my first suggestion, and this is going to be a really dorky one, Michael. Star Wars.
I'm ready for this.
Star Wars The Sims.
Star Wars The Sims.
Yeah. So they
Explain this to me.
I like The Sims. It's a fun game. Have you ever played The Sims?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I like The Sims a lot. It's really dorky, but you can do some funny stuff in it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can make like a big fat guy and have him with like tens of thousands of wives.
Yeah.
You can have just orphan babies. You can make them all green or whatever.
Fat men and orphan babies.
It's a lot of fun. But the reason I would want a Star Wars Sims, I'm not gonna lie here, Michael.
Okay.
I would want a Star Wars Sims so I could simulate a Tusken family. I could have a little hut. Let me just paint you a picture, right?
Oh, Jesus.
So you build your Tusken man, and you can have him meet a Tusken wife. They can think about it. They can have a little Tusken baby. There can be a pets expansion where they can get a bantha.
Oh my God.
They can start in a little hut. It'll be great, dude. It'll be so good. You know what? You know what? If you don't even want to play a Tusken, that's fine. You could lock Jar Jar in a room and put an oven in there, set the oven on fire, and then burn him alive. It would be really fun.
I'm sure people would buy the game just for that.
You know what? I think it would be really fun. They added some Star Wars costumes to The Sims 4.
Oh, that's cool.
But that's not good enough. All right. Mm-mm. You could do a whole expansion that's just Star Wars The Sims if you wanted. You could just have it be Star Wars Sims 4 Star Wars edition or whatever. If you're so inclined, I'd prefer Sims 3. Sims 3's the better game.
Sure, without a doubt.
Yeah, sure. Not to rag on Sims 4, just not what I'm looking for. But yeah, do Sims Star Wars. We got to see it. You guys, they did Sims Medieval once, Michael. I don't know if you knew about that.
I didn't know.
Yeah, and I liked that game. I thought that game was pretty good.
Okay.
It was a weird one. But
hey,
yeah, I really want Star Wars The Sims. People are not going to like this suggestion at all, I guarantee it. All right, next one is also a weird one. I don't know why, but you know what, Michael? For me, a lot of my Star Wars games, my favorite ones, of course my favorite one is Knights of the Old Republic. Mm-hmm. But I really enjoy the Star Wars games that are just weird and one-off. I love the Pod Racer game.
Oh, sure.
I love pit droids. Those games are really dorky, but I don't know. There's something endearing about them. And so my next suggestion is a Star Wars sports game. The idea would be in Coruscant, right? When Anakin goes down
into that bar and he sees all the sports being played across the galaxy. Yeah.
There would be a game that is all of those games rolled into one package. So you could have a pod racing thing. You could have the whatever hut ball. You could just throw them all together. I think that'd be really cool. So I should show a little bit of bias though, because I really enjoyed Connect Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
And people hate that game. So I'm not probably the best judge about Star Wars video games, but there you go. And then
hey, it's subjective.
So I think I mentioned this, but my second favorite Star Wars game, Michael, is Masters of Terras Kasi.
Yeah, no, I haven't played that. How does what's that
this
one about?
Is a lot of people think it's their least favorite Star Wars.
Oh,
it's like
really?
the worst Star Wars game. A lot of people claim that it's the
Do you
worst
have it
Star
up
Wars
there?
game. I do. Let me grab it. Where?
Oh, is it a PC game?
No, it's a PS1 game.
Oh, okay.
There. Masters of Terras Kasi. See it? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fighting game that's a little bit like
Oh.
Soul Calibur.
Didn't we play this?
We did play this. I made
Oh my
you.
God,
I made you
this.
play this. Okay, so one of the reasons I really enjoy this game is because it has a character named Hor. No, it's not because he's named Hor. Because
he's named Hor.
It's Hoar. It's not. Don't get it wrong.
Oh, it's not.
Don't
Hor,
make
it's
any lewd.
Hor.
Don't make any lewd jokes, because if you make fun of Hor, I'm gonna end you. Hor is my favorite character because he was from the tribe that Darth Vader murdered when he was on.
Oh, he's a Tusken.
Yeah, and so he's out for revenge. He's a Tusken Raider who's out for revenge, who leaves his home planet to go hunt down Darth Vader, a.k.a. Anakin Skywalker, who murdered his entire family.
Okay, so let me see if I got this straight. So, Shmi Skywalker was kidnapped by a whore, and that whore.
Oh no,
kept
Michael!
Shmi
Michael, you're making
there
some
for a
lewd
while.
jokes.
No, this is you said this Hoar. The character's name is Whore,
Right.
and then so Anakin killed the whore's family, and now the
Why,
whore
it's
wants
not
revenge.
the whore. It's just whore.
No, if whore's going to go after Darth Vader, I think whore should be called the whore, because clearly whore has the cojones to go after Darth Vader, and therefore deserves the title
Okay.
the
Well,
whore.
you're being a little bit sarcastic here. Just put it down.
Yeah.
Oh look, you're making things fall over. Anyways,
Sorry.
why I bring this up? Because Masters of Terras Kasi is a very, very dated game. Oh my god. That didn't happen. Masters of Terras Kasi is a very dated game. But the idea, Michael, of a Star Wars fighting game is such a good idea that they should update it to 2016 graphics. They should update it to 2016 gameplay. It would be great.
I think that would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah. And guess what? Hor would be returning as a Tusken playable character. You could even have whatever his name is, Grok. He's like a Gamorrean. You could have him come back. But really, who are we coming to Masters of Terras Kasi for? It's Hor.
Whore.
I'm Hor's #1 fan. I'm Tusken #1 fan. I'm a Hor #1 fan. Okay. Number 2 or 3, whatever. 4.
4?
We're on 4. Okay. So that was my third suggestion, then Masters of Terras Kasi 2. My fourth suggestion, this isn't a game necessarily, but I think EA should find really talented people, and they are sort of doing this with Amy Hennig. She wrote, I don't know if she wrote, but she directed the first 2 Uncharted games, and Uncharted Rules, and she's doing like a 2018 Star Wars game, I think. I forget it. They've been super vague about it, which I like. But she's doing that, and so they do have some talented people working there at EA. But I think the person I would love to see do a Star Wars game the most, Michael.
Who's that?
My favorite developer, Hideo Kojima.
Oh.
He's a super eccentric developer. He makes some weird games, weird decisions, but he's a big fan of American television, American movies, American games, and he in his games he has so many American influences. I would love to see what he does with this property. I think he would do it justice. I don't think he would make it too goofy or eccentric or whatever. So that is that. I don't know what, like I said, this isn't a game idea necessarily.
You just
but
wanted one designed by this guy.
just get
Or
Kojima
directed.
Productions to do a Star Wars game. I think that would be awesome. You don't have to have it under the, because EA has a bunch of developers, and I know that Sony right now is working with Kojima Productions.
It would be interesting to see a Star Wars video game, from I guess a foreign perspective or a non-American perspective. 'Cause
That's actually kind of how I feel about the Star Wars movies as well. I think that they're playing it a little too safe with their directors. I'd love to see like a Wes Anderson Star Wars movie, but that's a discussion for a different time.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Hideo Kojima game. I think that'd be awesome. Make it happen, EA. That'd be really cool. And then finally, Knights of the Old Republic 3.
Hey!
Mass Effect Andromeda looks great. All the Mass Effect games were awesome. I'd love to see a KOTOR 3 like that. Doesn't need to be KOTOR 3. I know they're continuing the story with Star Wars: The Old Republic, but yeah, come on, let's do a KOTOR 3. Doesn't have to be in the same timeline. Set it like thousands of years before or after Star Wars: The Old Republic, and that would be really cool. So, or you could even set it, I don't know, after Return of the Jedi if you want. So, those are my suggestions. Actually, sort of going back to the Hideo Kojima thing. Sorry, Michael.
I've got a lot of ideas.
Yeah, I do. I do have a lot of ideas. I'm a very creative young lad that likes Masters of Terrascasi and horror. If you're gonna do Masters of Terrascasi 2, right? Get the Soul Calibur team on it, right? Whoa. Get a real Soul Calibur team on it, and then you can even make your own. You could even make your own Star Wars character. You could even make your own Tusken, Michael. Think how cool this would be.
Build your own character. Yeah, no, totally.
Actually, I'm gonna be ashamed if I don't mention this. Let's get a Tusken Raider simulator game. That's my final suggestion. Michael, take it away.
All right, I got ideas.
What's your idea?
I've got ideas. Okay, now one thing I'd like to see, personally, just for the fun of it, I'd like to see Grand Theft Auto Coruscant. Really, because I think Coruscant's a pretty... It's the center of the Galactic Republic.
Right.
I think it's been explored a lot. But in terms of video games, I'm not really aware of any exploration of the planet. Or maybe there has been, but it's a city planet, or it's a planet that's consumed by one huge city. Ooh.
Okay. Next time on the show, I will turn my phone off. That's amateur mistake. It's rookie. We're living rookie hour here.
The Wookiee mistake.
Please continue.
Yeah, it's just like GTA Coruscant being able to fly a car through the hover lanes, I guess, interacting with Star Wars crime bosses, crime lords, this and that. And hey, maybe you can go off planet to different places, but that's one thing I'd like to see. What would you think about that?
I think that's a good idea. I don't know if you've heard much about Star Wars 1313. I think I might have mentioned this to you before, but it was about a weird section of Coruscant that is like a circular thing. It's supposed to tie into the Clone Wars, actually. It never got made. It was a Star Wars game planned with Boba Fett as a young
cool.
Boba Fett, an origin story kind of. There was supposedly, I've seen screenshots of cyber Tuskens.
I remember seeing something about that.
Being burned alive from it. So maybe, you know what? Maybe I don't want to see that game. But your idea sounds pretty cool, like an open world sort of thing. I really like that.
Yeah, pretty much open world Coruscant.
Because they don't do a whole lot of open world Star Wars games, really, which is kind of weird. So. The only ones I can think of, Star Wars Galaxies, or I guess you could say Star Wars: The Old Republic 2,
yeah.
but not really to the same extent.
Because Coruscant, as we saw in just episode 2 from Obi-Wan and Anakin driving around, is that because it's a giant city planet, the cities are thousands of feet tall, and so you have different levels, probably the wastes at the bottom and the luxury condominiums and homes at the top, and various areas throughout the entire planet.
My one question, Michael.
Go for it.
Is there any chance for a playable Tusken in your game?
No. I'm kidding. Of course, there would be. Of course, there would be a playable option.
Right.
One other idea I had was I've always really enjoyed the starships in Star Wars. Uh-huh. From the Starfighters, pretty much everything about it. I'm really into the science of Star Wars. I know it's fake, but I find it really interesting as to
you like all the vehicles and stuff.
All the vehicles and the technology and stuff. Yeah, I really think it's interesting. I always love those Star Wars cutaway books where they show you, this repulsor lift engine is what allows this transport ship to fly, or stuff like that.
Yeah. Essential guidebooks.
The essential guidebooks, yeah. I always thought those were interesting. So I always really liked Star Wars Battlefront 2 in that it had
Space battles
as an option, exactly. But I always thought they're always just one-on-one ship battles. I always really wanted a Star Wars space battle game that was like the scale of the Battle of Coruscant in the opening of Episode 3, where you have hundreds of ships all around. That it's a vast battlefield that you can fly through, and even if it's just like, I don't know, Star Wars: The Battle of Coruscant, I'd like to. Yeah, let's call it the Star Wars: The Battle of Coruscant, where it's just that giant battle in space, and that's the entire game. Because the battle always seems so vast to me. I thought, wow, I don't think there's ever been just a naval space battle game like that. Mm-hmm. I thought it'd be really interesting and fun.
Are you thinking like an RTS, like a real-time strategy game, or are you thinking like...
Oh, no. I meant like more like an FPS, kind of like how Star Wars Battlefront is.
Oh, okay.
So, like, imagine,
yes, like a
Battlefront
cockpit simulator.
Cockpit simulator. I don't know, going... maybe not just that. Maybe you can, leave your ship. Maybe you can command entire starships. Maybe you can just...
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, from commanding entire starships to just piloting a bomber or jumping from ship to ship.
Yeah.
In a spacesuit. So that was one idea.
That'd be really cool.
Let me think. There was one other idea that I had. Oh, a Star Wars dating sim. Just 'cause.
Who'd you date?
Paulus Massa. I think that's a name of an alien.
I think that's an asteroid belt, Michael. You can date an asteroid belt?
You know what? Why not?
That'd be pretty cool.
Hey, why not date one of those giant worms in episode 5?
Wow.
Just, hey.
Yeah.
Olives all around, You can't judge just by race.
Now, let me ask a question.
Love transcends all races.
Right. Let me ask a question, though.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah! Tusken Raiders in the Star Wars dating sim.
Absolutely.
I want to date a Jar Jar Binks. I do.
Lock him in a closet.
You know what?
Turn the oven on.
Let me date a Tusken. Let me date Jar Jar Binks. Are you thinking like a Japanese one? Is this supposed to be like a story? What are they called?
This is a kawaii. It's a very. It's
like a very kawaii.
It's a very kawaii game.
Very moe game.
Moe.
What is moe?
Moe is like cute.
Okay. What's the difference between kawaii and moe?
I think kawaii is like cute.
That's supposed to be like girly cute, and then moe is supposed to be like I think like a
manly.
Cute?
It's like a meek kind of cute, I think. But
what would you describe a Tusken Raider as? Then? Moe or kawaii?
Oh, definitely kawaii. But I bet you could find a moe Tusken Raider in there somewhere.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Hey, we'd have both moe and kawaii.
So it'd be like what's that game? Katawashujo, where you dated all the people in the disabilities ward.
Exactly. And
I played that once actually.
That exists?
Are you thinking more about like how to fool boyfriend or? Do you know what that is?
Is that like?
That's a dating sim where you date birds. So.
Yeah, sure. We'll have all of that. Yeah, it'll be a mishmash of Japan and Star Wars.
You know what? I really like that idea. Let's make that game.
Let's do it.
All right. So that was our show. I actually really like this topic, so we might revisit it sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Depending on if people like it. So.
No, it doesn't matter if they like it. We're doing it.
If you would like to win 2,400 cartel coins for Star Wars: The Old Republic and play a little bit of that nicely Eternal Throne, then all you got to do, put in the comments what your ideal Star Wars game would be, and best answer gets 2,400 cartel coins for real this time.
Ooh.
It wasn't a little switcheroo like last time. So, thank you, Michael, for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me, Zach. Thank you for joining me.
Well, you're welcome, Michael. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.